Welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. I'm your host, Javon Harrington, and today we're going to be getting a new story here in the Anime DC Comics lineup. Now, at first glance, you might be thinking, Swamp Thing and Naruto, how could they possibly go together? And with the other characters you see on screen, you're also wondering how any of this is going to make any sense at all. Well, I ask that you patiently follow along with me in this story and in what I'm attempting to tell. Also, when you stop and think about it, a story like this isn't so impossible when you stop and think about the Naruto world and what lies beyond the stars. But without any further ado, I now introduce Naruto, King of the Beast. What if Naruto was Swamp Thing? Season 1, Part 1. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. For the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, today was a day that he would never forget. And unfortunately, it would be his last day on Earth. The birth of one's own child. It's said to be a magical moment. The moment that changes you forever. Well, that was certainly the case for Minato and for his wife Kushina. Now, you know the story. The child of the fourth Hokage, his wife, the Ninetales Jinchuriki, October 10th, a cold night, just on the outskirts of the border of the Hidden Leaf Village, inside of a private room where the birth was to take place. Preparations were made to keep the tailed beast that was within Kushina dormant, as during the time of childbirth for a female Jinchuriki is when the seal is at its weakest. However, in this timeline, a strange series of events had taken place. This was before the night of said birth. It started around a month ago. The Hidden Leaf had sent a scouting unit throughout the Land of Fire, and they came across something unexplainable. They didn't know what the contraption was or where it had come from. They had never seen anything like it, but what they found inside was more peculiar. A baby girl with bright red hair and orange skin and piercing green emerald-like eyes. The baby was taken back to the Hidden Leaf, and the fourth Hokage was briefed on it. At first, they assumed that the child was of Uzumaki descent with the red hair. But when Kushina was asked about it, she had never heard any Uzumaki having green eyes and orange-like skin. Was she born with a birth defect, maybe? That had to be the case. They had brought in experts to try to analyze the child to see what they could find. The baby's blood was different. It wasn't human, but it wasn't not human. It was just unique. It wasn't something that could be classified as a type A, B, O. It was as if it were something all of its own. The baby's chakra network was different as well. Again, not too dissimilar from their own, but just different. Like there was no way to truly put your finger on it. It was just something that you knew wasn't quite right, but at the same time, it wasn't far off from what it should be. For now, the baby was being kept in the orphanage. They had no idea what to do with it. They had no idea where it came from. Someone had given the young girl a name, that being Cory. It was cute, and it stuck with the child, but for little baby Cory, they just didn't know anything. Fast forward a month later, and on the night in question, Everything you would expect to happen took place. The birth of the child, the subsequent attack from the masked man, and then the rampage of the Ninetales. However, this is where the story that you once knew takes a far and dramatic change. For you see, as Minato was preparing to deal with the Ninetales, preparing to use his flying Raijin to move the beast as far from the village as possible, a phenomena, something that you could only have to be there to describe, took form. From the very foundation of Konoha, roots would begin to sprout, moving like tendrils and wrapping around the Ninetales. The glare in the beast's eyes, the pure embodiment of hatred and anger, roaring throughout, its tails thrashing in every which way. For the Ninetales, he had felt this presence once before, a long time ago. But no, he was dead and in the grave. But yet how? How could this be happening? Minato saw an amalgamation taking form from the tree roots. A being, a humanoid-like creature that stood to the same size as a tailed beast, like that of a man itself. For Minato, he had no idea what was going on, and neither did the shinobi. The third Hokage would reconvene with Minato. Lord Third, are you seeing this? I am. But I thought it was nothing more but a rumor. A mere legend. A legend, sir? It was something said from the first Hokage, my master, long ago. He said that there was a guardian of Konoha that lied under the foundation, the root, if you will, that protected the village hidden in the leaves. He said that it was more than just a feeling. It was a true being of great power and size. I had never believed such a thing, but now it stands before me. The two Kages watched as the tall, humanoid, plant-like creature did battle and subdued the Ninetales, managing to drive it out of the village. However, in a stray attack, the Ninetales would launch a tailed beast bomb, Minato using the flying Raijin to teleport it out of the way before it could do any harm to the village. But even still, with the casualties reduced, it didn't stop the tragedies that were unfolding. Minato still had to deal with the likes of the masked man who claimed to be Madara Uchiha. Chaos was ensuing all throughout, people running and fending for their lives. Among them, a man attempting to help the elderly to get to safety, along with his pregnant wife. They were known as the Harunos. The woman was set to give birth to their daughter, a child they would have named Sakura. However, just as they had helped the last of the villagers in a certain section of the village get out of the way, they both looked to each other and smiled, believing that the worst was over. Just as they were about to get themselves to safety, a flash of light would emanate around them. A fiery blast that engulfed them instantly. Where the couple once stood, they no longer were, as if they had never existed. For many people, it was horrifying to witness their loved ones dying all around them. The attack of the Ninetales on the village was one that would leave an everlasting scar, a wound that could never be healed. Off in the distance, a woman sat with her child. She was ready to spring into action. However, at the request of her husband, she was told to stay in the compound with the children. The woman, looking up to the moon itself, her young child by her side, her eldest son, a boy named Itachi, along with the baby in her arms. the one known as Sasuke Uchiha. From out of nowhere, a rubble and debris would fall from the sky, aiming towards them. The woman was preparing to put down the child and take care of it, but before she could, her eldest son jumped into action, soaring into the sky, his black feathered wings on either side of him, letting him soar high above them both as he focused chakra into his fist and destroyed the rubble in one punch. It was truly remarkable, and he was indeed his father's son. In the meantime, Minato had managed to push back the masked man, dealing him a critical blow. But now they had to deal with the likes of the Ninetales, along with whatever this thing was. Minato tried to get closer to the plant-like being, to ask its name, to try to figure things out. "Who are you?" Minato would ask. "I am the guardian of Konoha. You can call me Kodama." "You're more like a swamp thing to me." "Such an idiotic name." "Where did you come from?" "There is no time to ask such questions. We must quell the Ninetales." "Right." Minato had to seal back up the Ninetales. With Kushina by his side, the two had to come up with a plan. What were they going to do? Where were they going to seal it? Kushina was ready to take the beast with her to her grave, believing it was for the best. If one of them were going to be alive, it had to be Minato. Someone had to look after their child. But Minato had the mind of a Hokage. He had to protect the village as best he could. The one known as Kodama would hold back against the Ninetales. Minato had to come up with a plan. First, he would gather his son, Naruto, as well as that girl. They had still been speculating just who or what she was. Was she Uzumaki? Was she not? They had no way of knowing. But even still, it was better than nothing. Minato at first believed that maybe he could split the Ninetales in two, seal them both within both of the children. Maybe they could each handle a half. However, despite the beast's best efforts, the Ninetales would reach out its hand towards Minato and Kushina and the two infants. However, while Kodama had managed to hold back Kurama's arm, just the length of its fingernail was enough to reach. Both Minato and Kushina had managed to push the babies out of the way, while taking the brunt of the attack themselves. They both knew they were going to die. There was no way of getting out of it. At the best, they could seal half of the Ninetales inside of one of the children. Minato would just take the other half with him to the grave. While the beast was holding back against the Ninetales, as he had managed to use his power to suppress its chakra, he would create a smaller vestige of himself that would kneel before the fourth Hokage and his wife, while Kushina kept the barrier with the Adamite Uzumaki chains, keeping the third Hokage and the others from getting in. I owe you a lot, Minato would say. The casualties could have been far worse, but you were able to buy me enough time and hold off the Ninetales. Kodama, I am sorry. If I had just been able to get to him just a little sooner, then none of this, it's fine. I promise. What do you plan to do? I'm going to seal half of the Ninetales within one of the children, and I'll take the other half with me to the grave. You're the protector of Konoha, aren't you? I am. I have been for many generations. I act as a form of defense should the village ever find itself under attack. I see. Are you like a tailed beast? Like the Ninetales. You could say we are something alike, but also something entirely different. I'm not entirely sure myself. I see. Would it be too much trouble if I sealed you inside of one of the children? Seal me? Yes. It's said that a Jinchuriki is a lot stronger than the tailed beast. Your strength is admirable. It could be of great need to the village, if you'll allow me. Fine. But allow me to pick which child I will be sealed into. With not much time, Minato and Kushina would agree. Kodama decided that he would be sealed inside of the boy, and the Ninetales would be sealed inside of the girl. With Kushina helping and with Kodama's assistance, the Ninetales would quickly be sealed inside of the girl. The seal managed to take hold, and to their surprise, she had more than enough power to keep half of the Ninetales in check. As for Kodama, he went within Naruto willingly without any resistance, making the process a lot quicker, a lot easier, and a lot more swifter. He even assisted with the hand signs in sealing himself. Once the two beasts were taken away, Minato and Kushina would look down at the two children. They wondered if they had done the right thing. Had they made the best decision? Only time would tell. Kushina would take a moment to apologize to the young girl, apologizing for the burden they had now put upon her, and to Naruto. Hopefully the village would see the children as heroes, because now the two of them would share in that burden of being protectors of the leaf. They would say their final goodbyes and fall in death. The third Hokage arrived in time, only to be briefed by Minato, who died shortly after. For the third Hokage, on this night, everything would change. A small council was called shortly after, the third Hokage now having to decide what to do, not just with the Ninetales Jinchuriki, but now with Naruto. You're saying this beast came from underground, Lord Third? Yes, that's what we saw. And you believe it plays into the legends that were spoken of by the first Hokage. How do we even know if the legend matches what I saw? I can't not explain that any more than I already do. The only thing I know now is that the Hidden Leaf now has two Jinchuriki in its custody. The Ninetales, and this beast doesn't even have a tail at all. So what, is it the Zero Tails? It would make sense. It was able to fight on par with the Ninetales completely. Therefore, it should be classified as a tailed beast, or technically speaking, a tailless tailed beast. The Zero Tails. What exactly are we supposed to do with it? A beast capable of fighting against the Ninetales. From what I was able to understand, the beast showed no hostility against the leaf. In fact, it was thanks to his efforts that not more died in the attack. But even still, maybe this is a way of keeping the Ninetales in check. If we have a tailed beast that's complying with us and willing to work with us, then maybe it could prevent a situation like this from happening again. Okay? But what about the girl? What are we supposed to do with her? We still have no idea where she came from or how she got here. And without any prior approval, has now had the Ninetales sealed within her. Well, what do you suggest we do? Her seal right now is holding the Ninetales. It's even been confirmed that it's stabilized. If we tried to undo it and take it out, we would first be subjecting an innocent child to death, and then we wouldn't have a way of finding another Jinchuriki. Within the shadows, even Danzo Shimura would agree. I believe that Lord Third is right. We don't have any way of holding the Ninetales in check at the moment, save for using the power of the Uchiha. And it was said that there was a Sharingan's glare within the eye of the beast. How do we know that they aren't behind all of this? I would say that for now, our best effort is to keep the beast where they are, and to monitor them, and to not let the situation divulge any further. Everyone would agree to these demands, and as such, it would be made final. As an S-rank secret, Naruto and Kori would now be classified as tailed beasts of the Hidden Leaf, the Ninetales and the Zero Tails, respectively. Time would pass, and slowly, reputations started to be formed among the next generation. Almost 12 years in particular. A young boy walking down the street, holding on with him a wooden stick, whistling to himself and watching as the wind blew and the leaves shook all around. The young boy's name was Naruto Uzumaki. For him, life was, well, as ordinary as it got. He didn't really have too many issues, save for the strange glare that came his way every now and again. He was a young shinobi in training, attending the Hidden Leaf Academy. Today was an important day, because today was the day that the Genin were going to be taking their test, as a way to graduate, to reach the rank of Genin officially. Right now, they were just students in training. As Naruto made his way into the academy, well, going into his classroom, he saw the usual sights. The girls fawning over Sasuke Uchiha, and the boys staying far away from one girl in particular. The girl with orange skin, piercing emerald eyes, and long flowing red hair. The girl that looked irritated every time anyone dared to approach her. Her desk was on the far end, the opposite side of Sasuke. Sasuke was to the right, and Kori was to the left. And for Naruto, he just sat somewhere in the middle, trying to make sense of everything around him. However, the peace would be short-lived, as just outside the academy, yelling could be heard.
Hey! You red-haired bitch! Get out here before I drag you out!
Uh-oh, she did it again. Who did Kori piss off this time? The Starfire's gonna explode. Kori simply ignored it until finally the yelling persisted to a point where she was getting annoyed. She got up from her desk and walked outside, everyone crowding towards the windows to see what was going to happen. There, another student from their class, along with his older brother and two of his Genin pals, were waiting. Oh no, those are Genin! Those are third-year Genin too! Oh boy, she's really done it now! They're gonna eat her alive! Is she the one? Yeah, it's her! So, you like picking on my little brother, huh? Picking on? Are you serious? Your little brother should learn not to go around starting fights he can't finish. And you, if you don't want to learn that same lesson, I suggest you get out of here. I was enjoying a nice nap. I don't like people having my name in their mouth all the time. Otherwise, I'll have to wash it out. A lot of talk coming from a rookie. Now here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get down on your little knees. You're gonna apologize. You're gonna beg me not to make you regret it. Freak. Corey didn't take too kindly to that. The three Guinea attempted to jump her. The key word is attempted. What happened next could, well, only be described as pure, unadulterated horror. It ended with the bully's older brother being grabbed by the collar as she started flying. She flew high into the sky above, just to the point where you could almost reach the clouds. What the? Yeah, I know, right? Isn't this so much fun? Look, you see all those birds flying by? We can almost touch the clouds. Come on, you want to touch the clouds, buddy? Is that what you want to do? No. What? I'm sorry. I can't understand you. It sounds like bitch. It sounds like bitch to me. Is that what you're speaking? You sound like a little bitch. Oh, you want me to drop you? Looks like you're already dropping. The boy's pants were long since sullied. I want you to do me a favor. Look. I said look. Yes. You see that? I know. That's about 500 feet. You know, I can fly, so I'm good. But I don't think you've got a jutsu that's gonna save you. Unless your jutsu's shitting on yourself, then maybe you got a chance. I don't know. Maybe you can dump enough crap to make yourself a tower and you can slide down. You want to test that theory? Huh? It sounds like you do. Huh? Is that a yes? Yes, I should drop you. Okay, as you wish. Help! Please! Oh God, please help me! Please! Before the boy could hit the ground, she caught him, his face inches away from the dirt. The next time you piss me off, my hand might slip, and I might not catch you in time. Now, I might go to jail, but you're gonna have to have a closed casket funeral. Unless one of your buddies here wants to be your stand-in, but they'll be in a similar predicament. Now, have you learned your lesson? Good. Get the hell out of here! Corey kicked his butt and his goons followed behind. She was smug in her pride for what she had just done. But oh boy, had she just made things worse. Because Iruka Sensei walked into the room and he saw the whole thing. Corey! Hey, Iruka Sensei. Get your butt in here now! For everyone, they knew that yell. Safe to say, today was definitely going to be a day that no one would forget. As Corey entered into the room, Iruka Sensei gave her an earful. The girl had, in all sense of the words, just committed attempted murder. Well, in a casual way of speaking. Safe to say, things were not going to be taken lenient on her at all. Especially because today was the day of the graduation exam. For Naruto, he had always been, well, curious about Corey. It was just something about her, something that he just gravitated towards. He wasn't entirely sure why, but the girl was just an enigma, a force of nature that just couldn't be controlled. As she had finished with her scolding, she was making her way back to her seat when she noticed Naruto glaring at her. She looked at him menacingly. "You got a problem with me, Blondie?" No. Good. Keep it that way." Corey took her seat, sitting in between with Naruto and Sasuke. This was life in the Hidden Leaf Village. The growing of the next generation. The beast that were looking to make their name in the world. And in this world, only the strongest will rise to the top. This concludes Naruto, King of the Beast. What if Naruto was Swamp Thing? Season 1, Part 1. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Now, going forward, I want to try to tell each story for the remainder of our schedule week to week. So this week, it's going to be all things Naruto and all things Swamp Thing. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we continue Naruto, King of the Beast. What if Naruto was Swamp Thing? Season 1, Part 2. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.